Okay, let me turn the mic on there. I decided to make a video. I posted on Twitter a markup of my day and traded terrible yesterday. And this morning I was marking it up and I asked myself if I traded these setups. The answer was no, I did not. And I randomly traded. I was up $500-600 trading micros on a funded top take profit trader account. And I really should have walked away, but I was just taking small scalps, MNQ small scalps, and I had my phone in the car and couldn't manage a trade and just kept adding it. Before you know it, I was down big. And anyway, it had nothing to do with the setups I like to take. So I decided to go back over how I attached the anchor VWAP. So anyway, I use the indicator up now is the VWAP alerts. It has the bands, and I do use the bands too along with anchor VWAP. So it's just when they get outside, there'll be range expansion, and then like most of the day, price didn't get up above or below. It got below a little bit there, but with micros you can have a little more room with stop losses. So I'll go back to the big move in the overnight session, which started around 3 Europe, and it basically got up to the top of the bands. And if you would have been up at that time, you could have taken any of these. If you'd have taken it when it first touched, I mean, you would have lost there. Usually when a range expansion's coming, like right there, usually when it's coming, I'll let it happen before I do anything, so it comes down, starts kind of slowing down. So this wick right here might have been one I would have taken something had it been worth. Anyway, it comes back up here. So if I was trading at this time, first thing I would have done is attach an anchor VWAP there, and then in settings I would have flipped that to low, and this could have worked out. I've always traded NQ, but I'm trying to size down funded accounts and just take the setups and give myself a little extra room and not manage the trade as much. Maybe do break even and let it go up. I probably would. I've been getting out way too early in trades, and I need to let them work. But say if I did take one here at anchor VWAP, I probably would have got out. Tried to get out around the band, and then who knows what I would have done, but I could have took a short up here in the band, and then that would have come back up here to the band again. I could have taken a short. This is a big enough drop here where I would have attached another anchor VWAP to the top. I usually get up around 5 in the morning, so I would have been there for this. Some of these, I would have saw that, up when it was up at 6. So about right in here is probably when I woke up, and I would right when I wake up, I start attaching anchor VWAPs to highs and lows. This would have caught my eye right there. And then once it come back here and broke, I usually get rid of anchor VWAPs, especially from the overnight sessions. I tend to hang on to anchor VWAPs once the New York session starts. I'll leave them up a little longer. So this one got broke and never there was no wins on this anchor VWAP, so I would have gotten rid of that or just slide this over to the top. Typically around 9. That Golden Star VWAP, that was a spot I remember. I think for some reason I had to do something and I missed it. I was planning on buying that and I didn't. So then up here, 927, almost around open. I normally don't mess around, but you know, if you did, that was around the band and would have been a nice short. So we come down here, 942. I'm starting to get interested in trades. So on that low, I would have definitely, I did set an anchor VWAP to the low. Maybe right here, I don't remember if I did or not, and then a double touched again. This would have taken some heat, which again, I'm trying to use micros instead of minis so I can take that. Once it got through here, I was thinking it was going to at least come down to this low. So I don't think I messed around with that. Then back up here, and these I'm pretty sure I shorted up around here and maybe took profit early at VWAP. I'm not sure if I got it again, but that time it blew through VWAP, blew through that anchor VWAP. When price does come back to an anchor VWAP, if it's that big of a bar, I'm not gonna. I typically see what happens once it hits it, and it blew right through on the second bar. And so by then, this anchor VWAP, which I left it up for the Twitter post, this anchor VWAP right here, I just drag over to that low. And this is a range expansion on the bands, so it got a little bit low. And I know I was trying to get long in here and stopped out a couple times, or got out and probably got back in way too late. Maybe up in here when this next 3-minute candle got above here, that's when I got long. And all this consolidation in here, chopper in here, I probably took profit. This pink dotted line is the previous day's close. It always seems to be a good level to keep an eye on. So this upper anchor VWAP, when we came back up to it, you know, that's a third touch. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's, you know, anchor VWAPs get broke. A lot of times that first touch works well, especially from an area, you know, a high like this where it raced up there. So that was a good short. Down here would have been a good long, and if you had the guts to hold on, which I never do, and I've got to get better at, you could have held on the rest of the day, really, in hindsight, but it's just something I got to work on. Walk away, whatever I got to do to stop watching. So this lower anchor VWAP never caught any of this slow grind up. So I'm going to get rid of this one for now. And I'm going to start because it's a slow grind up, I mean, I don't know that it's going to do that in here. Once it broke that, I had the market's bullish, so I'm looking to attach anchor VWAPs to lows, and give it another chance to come down, because it obviously wasn't going to come down to this lower one where I would never had an entry. So this this one right here caught some here. It wasn't fast, so you have to sit through 30 minutes of nothing, but it still was a point where you could take it. And when the market starts doing this, I'm not attaching VWAPs to the highs all that much. It's kind of a distraction. So in the way the market's been so bullish, I'm looking for this more. You could also kept attaching anchor VWAPs to the lows on all these little pullbacks, and see, that would have got broke, so I'd have just got rid of that one and stuck with the lower one. Here's another one you could have tried, which broke a little bit there. Some of these, when I start adding extras, a lot of times they won't hold up as well as that first one. So right there was the main to get in, and then this would have been a second one. And I'm sure I did take these trades, and like if I take a trade right here in the 418 area, I'm wanting it to go up to the band, and that's what I got to get better at. Is that's my target. When I took it down here, this little pullback here scared me out because it got below the last 3-minute candle. So I did make some money, but not, what I should have. When it came back up here, I might have shorted if it got to the band, and then when it come back to here, around the 435 area, that was a definite long. And again, I don't know. I know I took longs, but I probably took profit early, and I should have definitely targeted the band. Now, once we start hitting this upper band, I'm thinking short, and I know I shorted, but it was one of those. I was down for the day. I sized up. I shorted up in this area. I think I maybe shorted the first touching, stopped out on NQ there, when I should have, as bullish as this is, I should have waited till at least gotten to the middle of the band or the top of the band, and it comes back down to, a recent VWAP. I was kind of worried that it was really going to break down later in the day, so 3:30. So I was thinking, it might come back to VWAP. So I did not long this, but when it came back up here, I was pretty much done for the day. That big dump, wow. I mean, I definitely wasn't watching by then. Anyway, I need to get better. I need to have more self-control. I need to, if I have to walk away from the computer after I take a trade and let it play out, that's what I'm going to do. I feel like my system makes money every day, and I don't. So it's just something that, I'm going to have to work on my emotions, and I think that's something we all deal with. Whatever system you trade, you got to get your emotions in check, and I am bad right now. My mindset is I want a payout so bad that I'm doing stupid shit. So anyway, I'm going to work on that. If you did watch this and have any questions, I will answer. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, so I will definitely answer. So thank you. Bye.